everyone to Mind Money Methods weekly market scan. It's the 6th of July, Monday. As I'm sure a lot of you know, we have had the Greek crisis going on. It's still going on, and there's been a referendum which was held yesterday to accept the bailout conditions or not. And the Greeks have chosen not to, so it was a 68% thereabout no. Obviously, we need to assess and see what's going on in the markets because of this. There is some volatility because of these announcements. We need to be aware of that going into our weekly scans and our scans as we go on, or potentially into place any trades in the market. So let's have a look, though. We'll start off with the US dollar index as we normally do on our market scans, and if we can just have a look at this the daily chart, we can see obviously we've had a great uptrend, up till about March time, and then we started going down on a downtrend, and we worked our way up. We're still technically in a downtrend. However, the market's starting to look as if it's turning to potentially onto the bullish side. So, I'm looking at this key level over here around about the 9,800. If we break up that 9,800, technically we're starting to go back up into an uptrend. So that is definitely a level that I'm looking at. All indication is actually telling me that there is dollar strength. We had a pullback into the moving averages, and if we go look at the weekly, we see it a little bit clearer over here, this level over here. Close to the 9,800 over here. If we break the high of that candle, we technically starting to go back into an uptrend. So at this point in time, probably the short term, there's a little bit of volatility going on in the markets, but overall, if we break that 9,800 mark on the US dollar index, this shows quite clearly also on the monthly. Then potentially, we've got room to move on the dollar index. So that's where we are right now on the dollar index. Don't see any opportunities right now. I am being very cautious this week with all the announcements going on. So my emphasis is really a lot on risk management, and if I were going to be taking any trades, I would be looking potentially to do it on shorter, smaller contract sizes, not my normal contract sizes. And definitely the emphasis on risk management on all my trades because of the volatility going on in the market with the Greek crisis right now. So pretty much so on that emphasis at this point in time. If we go and even look now at the euro US dollar as an example, you can see what's going on here. Last week when some of the news announcements happened, it actually gapped. We had a massive gap all the way down, and then the market shot right back up, and closed that gap, and then we've actually come all the way basically down to where we started that gap on the 28th of June, and we've closed that gap, and we're starting to slightly edge our way back up again. So a bit of volatility in the markets right now, and of course, as I said, it's all based around the Greek crisis going on, and what's happening in the talks that's going to go on around that. So we've got to keep eye on, and obviously if you want to go and have a look, go and look at Bloomberg, a reputable website, obviously a business which gives you all the feeds and the data. We don't base anything, and I have always also said this to you in the past, that we don't base on what Bloomberg says or what the fundamentals is going on, but we look at what the charts tell us, and we look where we're going to trade, and all the technicals we really base around. But because of such huge announcements and history in the making with what's going on in the referendum yesterday with Greece on the referendum, we got to look and see what's going on, because it will play some part in the market, and that's where we've got to be wise, and we've got to be clever on what we're doing, and we've got to be aware of it. So look at what the charts are telling you, but be aware of these big news announcements going on. If we go and look at the euro to the British pound once again as well, we had a big drop, as in a gap, and we've closed that gap and now we're kind of in a bit of indecision right now on what's going on in the market. So, and this is all based to do with the euro, and the Greece crisis. So if we just move away from that and we go on to actually a chart which is the Kiwi dollar to the US dollar that I spoke about last week. I think it was about this level around here on the 28th. I made the call on, you can go and look at our weekly scan of last week. And we discussed the Kiwi dollar and said that it was looking like a brilliant chart, an excellent chart. Just ticked all the boxes, to be honest, and it was looking very bearish. Well, we've actually, when I say we, the head, myself, and one of our other head traders, Raymond Blair, went into the trade, and we've been actually in that trade ever since. And Raymond's got some great footage, video capturing on going into the trade, entering and managing the risk and money management of that entire trade. And we will be putting that up on our website as well to have a look at how to go into a trade from really start to end. So have a look and keep an eye out for that one. But we've been in that trade, and we've made some decent profits on that one. So even in a volatile market, if they want to call it that, there still are currencies, countries that, the charts are playing out properly, and there's still always an opportunity for you to make money as long as you know what you're doing. So this week's video is going to be pretty short in that respect. All I'm going to say is my emphasis this week is really to keep an eye on what's going out on the markets. Smaller contracts for myself, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Definitely keeping a big emphasis on my risk management if going into any trade, and probably taking my 1-to-1, 2-to-1 profits more so than when I would be normally letting them run a bit longer. And I definitely, if I'm in a trade by Friday, I won't let it run over the weekend because of the volatility in the markets and being stopped out by having a big gap. So I'll make sure that if I am in a trade and I do go into a trade this week, by Friday mid-afternoon UK my time, I'll be definitely getting out and taking my profits and closing the trade out. So that's it. Happy trading, everyone, and keep an eye out for the Kiwi dollar, US dollar trade as I've spoken to you about. And we'll catch up with you next week.